into Milwaukee and getting a big win against Milwaukee's Big Three on the road.
Shout out to the international players who've come into the NBA and become MVPs. And in the conversation for best players, as Jokic is the reigning MVP, Giannis is the reigning finals MVP, and Luka just dazzles on a nightly basis. And he one of those guys, again, when you get confused, we win because we got you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's Luka. J. Kidd, give him the ball. Y'all play D. Hey, Finney Smith, Powell, you catch a lob, you run, jump, dunk. You know, y'all play D. Jalen Brunson, you play smart. You're going to take care of the ball, high IQ, make his open shots, get to the paint. Spencer Dinwiddie's been clutch, but we're just going to get the ball to Luka.
And they played D. Look at the way they locked up Giannis and Middleton yesterday.
Correct. And Middleton struggled the entire game, and they really got better as the game progressed with their defense. And that's what was impressive, how they got timely stops. And the thing I like about Luka, Kaiser Soze.
Kaiser Soze.
Yeah, that's my nickname for him, because every time you see Luka, he nicked up.
He's always
banged up.
Yeah.
You know, he banged up.
There was a game against the Celtics I was watching.
You know
I was like, Luka's not coming back in this one.
He banged up. He go to the locker room, his ankle messed up.
He looks like me after a rec league game.
Exactly.
Every single time they blow the whistle.
Kaiser Soze, no question.
He always limps to the bench during a timeout. But then once the ball goes back in bounds, he's 100% again.
Think about this. He smiled every time he dunked. He like, y'all letting me dunk? I can't believe y'all let me dunk.
I think you can jump higher than Luka.
Correct. That he dies laughing every time he get a dunk.
And he has been on an absolute tear. And watching this game, something came to mind. If you look at the Western Conference standings, right now they are in fourth in the Western Conference. However, if they make it to third and they face the Grizzlies, if they get in front of the Warriors, I got them going to the Western Conference Finals. I would pick them over the Grizzlies in a 7-game series. I wouldn't pick them over the Suns in the second round, but I would pick them over the Grizzlies. We'll see how it shapes out. That's something to keep an eye on. That 3-4 spot makes a big difference in the Western Conference, because one team in the second round plays the Suns, one team in the second round plays the Grizzlies.
Are you suffering from recency bias with Luka?
No, I've been working on this one. I've been working on this one.
I know the last 5 games.
Ja Morant's not even playing.
That's why I'm asking
They've been playing great defense.
Yeah,
the Mavs play good defense. I thought when they traded Kristaps Porzingis, they would actually take a hit, but they've gotten better and better. And Luka single-handedly can get you a series. And I would pick them over the Grizzlies if it works out that way.
Hey, blame it on Magic Johnson. You know how much I love big guards. Like, I love Luka.
Magic's here today, right in the studio. He's the first take.
Oh, let's go talk to Herb. What am I doing? I'm about to go talk to him about Luka.
Where's Herb?
But here's the thing. Like, what about the MVP race?
We're going to get to that in the B block.
Right.
Great tease, Jalen Rose. Great tease.
Because Luka, dog,
he's not going to win the MVP, but he's going to get some votes. You got to pick 5. You have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to get some votes.
Let me just say this. Against Memphis, my killer bees, Bane and Brooks, are going to be guarding Luka 94 feet the entire time. I wouldn't just say that they're going to beat Memphis just yet.
I'm saying it now.
I wouldn't go.
They have to get to the 3 seed.
I wouldn't go there.
Listen, that's fine.
Okay.
Ja is going to return. You're allowed to be wrong
Ja is going to return.
That's fine.
Okay, I know you got on your green sweater to salute Luka.
To salute Luka?
Yeah, the Mavs.
You're reaching.
Or school days.
You're reaching. I did not know that this was an AKA sweater when I bought it.
Right.
See, sometimes people forget that I'm white. People forget that I'm white. I don't know what the AKAs are in Western Massachusetts. Please. What's that? New York University.
It's a Spike Lee joint.
Moving on to the Eastern Conference. Still atop the Eastern Conference, the Miami Heat. They were missing some players. No Jimmy, no Gabe, no Dedmon. And it was Kyle Lowry returning to Toronto, getting them a win.
And you know what I saw?
What'd you see?
I don't know if it was like legitimized by the team, but I did see a Kyle Lowry statue. You know, I be deep into the box score.
I didn't see a statue.
I saw a Kyle Lowry statue.
That must have been fan-made.
Yeah,
it must have been a fan-made statue.
Yeah, and Vince Carter deserves a statue in Toronto. But in all honesty, I have to say this. It was good to see him return to Toronto. But also, like the Miami Heat, for those that have not been paying attention, have been in the #1 seed more than any team in the East all season.
Mm-hmm. It's surprising. If you would have told me that in October, I'd be like, wait, huh?
Right, yes.
Miami Heat?
Right. And so Jimmy's been in and out. Bam's been in and out. Hero's flirting with 6th man of the year. Spoelstra still developing from within. Guys that weren't in the league or weren't drafted all of a sudden become a Duncan Robinson and get a big contract.
Lead with like 4 or 5 games left.
And here's the other thing I want to tell you that's an undercurrent. At first, people was like, maybe the 1 seed should try to worry about if they got to play against the Nets. Now the conversation should be the Nets got to worry about if they going to get in.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They're tied with the Charlotte Hornets right now. You'd have told me that in October. I'd be like, what? I mean, they're going to be in the play-in because the Wizards are like 4 games behind them. So they're going to be in the play-in, but they're going to have to win 2 play-in games and then face a number 1 and number 2.
When we start saying dominant players of generations, it's a unique season when Kevin Durant and LeBron aren't a part of the MVP conversation or the contending conversation.
Not even close. Not even close to close.
How about that? And it just shows how the young players have ascended. And shout to the Phoenix Suns and Devin Booker and CP3 as well. But the Miami Heat, again, them and the Bucks are the safe choices for me in the East. I got to see what's going to happen with Philly and James Harden. Can he perform in a big game? Boston doesn't have Robert Williams going into the playoffs. The Nets, I just talked about them. They're so very low in the conference. It's hard for me to imagine them overcoming so much
win
to win the conference.
Game, maybe a second playing game, and then they got to face 3 of the top 4 seeds in the conference. That ain't happening for the Nets. That is not happening. It's not happening. You mentioned it earlier. The MVP race is as close at this point in the season as I remember it in my entire life. And each individual at the top spots put on a performance this weekend. And we'll discuss with Jalen Rose, who has a vote.
There's just a list of things. Everything goes wrong. On top of it seems like there's a heavy chemistry issue with that roster. There's a heavy chemistry issue with the roster. So when you look at players being down, players underperforming, players being hurt, and chemistry issues, what you get is a team that was picked to probably finish top 4 in the league being 10th or 11th in the West.
I see Sinead's over there like taking notes.
Yeah. Not from what he said, more from my point.
Don't cheat on my homework.
And we all
She's a
know.
Stanford girl. She takes
why
notes.
Arizona, Stanford. Why would I cheat on your homework?
Yeah,
Okay?
keep your eyes on your own paper.
Look, the thing that I was thinking about as you're making your astute points was the fact that this iteration of the Lakers under Frank Vogel, defense was their identity. And we talked about it when it came to the Brooklyn Nets, but specifically for the Lakers, if you look around the NBA and the top teams, you think about the Bucks, you think about the Suns, you think about the Heat, you think about the Grizzlies, you can say something about each one of their defenses, whereas the Lakers, they did not have defensive buy-in all year long. So much so that the answer was supposed to be Anthony Davis when he comes back. He's our rim protector. So when we, force him, we're more aggressive, he'd be able to stop things. No, they have not been able to stop the bleeding defensively. And I think that's been the biggest issue. It's not just the hardest thing at the professional level to buy in is defense. If you can't buy in on defense, your team is probably not going to do well. And that's exactly all the issues that the Lakers have.
Well, so since the Lakers won the title in 2020, Rob Pelinka has had a mentality, and I think this is the right mentality anyway, of if you're not getting better, you're getting worse, right? Even though you won a championship, you have to try to continue to get better because everybody else is trying to catch you. So they tried something last year, that didn't work. They tried something different this year, and this year's construction was based on the idea that LeBron and AD are injury risk. LeBron because he's 37, Anthony Davis because he's Anthony Davis. No disrespect. He got hurt twice this year. Last year, same thing.
He missed 40 games. You have to prepare for something that can.
So they needed a third star to carry the team when one or both of those players were out. That was actually the correct read.
Yeah.
They did. It's just that Russell Westbrook has not been the right star.
Right. Yeah.
And then the other issue when you look at the roster construction is they play about a 9-man rotation right now. 4 of those 9 players that they play regularly were not on the team to start the season.
Yeah.
Okay, Wenyen Gabriel, DJ Augustine, Avery Bradley, Stanley Johnson. Those are guys they added during the season, which means the way that team was built around LeBron, AD, Westbrook, the players they added at the beginning of the season were not the right players.
Okay, well, we aren't the only people that are talking about the Lakers' shortcomings, right? Let's just real quick hear from Anthony Davis and head coach Frank Vogel after last night's loss.
What could we have been if I was healthy all year, Bron was healthy, K-Nunn is healthy. Like, you think about those things, we put this team together, look really good on paper, but we haven't had a chance to reach that potential with guys being, in and out of the lineup. So the most frustrating part about, this season is just not being sure of what we could have been. As long as we're playing hard, there's no moral victories.